Firstly, welcome to class. Thank you for tuning in today. Today we're going to be focusing on basically hinging from the hips, forward folding. And before we started going into class, I just wanted to share something with you called posterior femoral glide. So here's your hip socket. And here's your femur, and your femur can rotate and move around in the hip socket, but it can also glide forward, and the femur can also glide backwards. And when we go into hip flexion, like when the femur comes up like this, when the leg moves upwards, we want the head of the femur to glide back. We don't want it to stay forward, because if the head of the femur stays forward, when we come into hip flexion, it can run into the top of the acetabulum, your hip socket, and then that can cause hip compression or hip impingement, and it doesn't feel so nice. So when we do hip flexion, we want the head of the femur to move back in the hip socket so that there's space for the leg to come up without causing any impingement in the hip. So that's kind of what we'll be focusing on today. And then for a philosophical concept just to contemplate, yoga is an experiential-based practice, which means it's not just all about theory and intellect. It's about creating space to actually feel something and to allow ourselves to feel something. Because in the yoga lineage, they believe that you don't truly understand something until you experience it firsthand yourself. So this practice is about moving, thinking, breathing in a way that allows for an experience of peace or an experience of enlightenment or an experience of calmness. And ultimately that's what we're doing. We're not trying to think about being calm or think about enlightenment. We're trying to create space for ourselves to feel those experiences. So if you're a person that sometimes likes to overthink things, this can be a great reminder that this practice is about feeling. So let's come to our mats. All right. And once you're on your mat, just bend your knees. Place both of your feet on the ground. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And close your eyes. And once your eyes are closed, can you take a few deep breaths? And if you're like me, I can tend to overthink things. And this method of closing the eyes and having my hands on my belly and taking a few deep breaths can take me out of my thinking mind into my ability to experience. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then please interlace your hands behind your head and lift your head and shoulders right up off the ground. So your shoulder blades come right off the floor. Your upper back comes off the floor. So you're in a crunch. And can you scoop the lower belly in and try to keep your lower back imprinted or kind of pressing down into the ground. Keep your head lifted and try to keep your shoulder blades right off the ground. And then bring your knees so they're right over your hips and your shins so they're parallel to the ground. Get your head and shoulder blades up off the floor. You can get your ankles level with your knees. Keep your head and shoulders off the ground. Lower back pressing into the floor. Good. Now, I don't want you to bend at your knee. I just want you to move from your hip. So the position of your knee, your shin, and your thigh does not change. Just it moves from your right hip crease. So keep your left leg where it is and tap your right heel to the ground without bending at the knee, just moving from your right hip. And then bring the right knee back up. Good. And then other side. Left heel taps to the floor and then left foot lifts back up. But the knee, imagine as if your knee is in a cast and it can't move. Right heel taps the floor and then bring it back up. Left heel taps the floor. And then bring it back up. Notice if your shoulder blades are beginning to sag to the ground. Keep your shoulder blades and your chest lifted. Keep going. We'll do 4 more. Tap the left heel. Come back up. Tap the right heel. Keep the shoulder blades off the ground. Keep your chest lifting high. 2 more left heel taps. Right heel taps. Good, last one, left heel taps. Good, and then release your head to the ground, but keep your legs where they are. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And come right back up, shoulder blades off the ground. Try to bring your right knee towards your right elbow. Straighten your left leg straight up towards the sky. Keep your left leg straight, and then slowly lower the left heel so it's 1 foot or 2 feet away from the ground. And then lift the left leg right back up to the sky. Right, lower the left leg so it's 1 or 2 feet away from the ground. And then lift the left leg right up to the sky. Get your shoulder blades off the ground. Lower and lift. 4 more. Lower and lift. Try to keep your right knee close to your right elbow and vice versa. Lower and lift. 2 more. Lower and lift the left leg. The left leg stays straight. Lower the left leg 1 foot off the ground and then bring it right back up to the sky. Good, switch. Bend the left knee. The left knee comes to your left elbow. Keep the right leg straight up towards the sky. Shoulder blades are off the ground. Lower the right heel 1 foot off the ground and then bring it back up. Good. Lower and up. Lower and up. 4 more. Lower, keep those shoulder blades off the ground. Shoulder blades off the floor. 3 and up. 2. Keep your left knee close to your left elbow and up. This is your last one. Lower and up. Good. And then place both of your feet on the ground. Place your hands on either side of your hips for bridge pose. Lift your butt up. Place your hands on your frontal hip points. Drop your pelvis about 5 to 15 centimeters. 10 to 15 centimeters. So it's like a low bridge. Your butt's not as high. Keep your hands on your frontal hip points. Try to squeeze your butt muscles so both buttocks are nice and firm, and then just tap your butt to make sure it's nicely engaged. So squeezing the butt helps with the posterior glide of the head of the femur. Can keep your hands on your hip points. Heel toe your feet together. Keep squeezing your butt, but keep your butt a little lower to the ground so it's a low bridge, not a very high bridge. Check your butt again. Is it still engaged? And put your hands on your hip points. Now lift your right knee up. Right shin parallel to the ground. Tap your right butt. Can you keep your right butt squeezing? And then lower the right heel down towards the ground. And then lift back up. So it's the same concept as when we were doing the core work. Tap the right heel, lift it back up. Tap the right heel, lift it back up. And can you keep your butt squeezing the whole time as you move that right leg? So you can keep tapping your right butt and see if you can keep the right butt engaged as you lift the right knee up. And if you're like me, it tends to soften the higher I bring my right leg up. The lower my right foot is to the ground, the easier it is to squeeze the glute. And the more the hip comes into flexion, the harder it is to keep the right butt squeezed. Okay, and switch sides. So both hands on the pelvis, and hands tapping the butt, the right butt and the left butt. Lift the left knee up, left shin parallel to the ground. Can you keep your left butt squeezing? And then tap your left heel to the ground. And when your left heel touches the floor, your butt will probably be able to squeeze much more easily. And then lift the leg back up. Can you keep the butt squeezing? And then tap, and then lift, tap, lift, tap, lift. One more, tap and lift. Good. And then slowly lower the pelvis down. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a big squeeze. Hey, rock yourself up to your hands and knees. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. Someone unmuted themselves. Inhale, look forward, tilt your sit bones up, chest opens to the front. Exhale, push your hands and knees down, round to the back. 2 more. Inhale, look forward, tilt the sit bones up. Exhale, push the hands and knees down, round to the back. Last time, inhale, look forward, tilt the sit bones up, open the chest. And exhale, round the back. And please step back to plank pose. So your shoulders are right over your wrists. Center of the chest is reaching forward. Take a steady breath in and a steady breath out. Deep inhale and a steady exhale. Now, can you bend both of your knees? And with your knees a little bit bent, try to stick your butt up a little bit higher like you're about to twerk. And so your butt gets a little bit perky. And can you keep that? And now lengthen your tailbone back towards your heels, kind of like your pubic bone is moving a little more towards your face. And then reach the center of your chest more forward. So your knees are still bent. It's like a hovering table pose. Take one more deep breath in. And then exhale, drop the knees to the ground, lower all the way to your belly. Okay. Take your hands so they're beside your lower ribs. Inhale, cobra pose, lift your chest. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Roll your inner thighs up. Plug your tailbone back so your pubic bone pushes down. And then slowly lift your legs, lift your chest, and see if you can hover your hands 1 to 2 millimeters off the ground. So the hands are hovering. Turns on the muscles of the forearms, which helps support our wrist joint. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Can you lift your chest a little higher? Can you lift your legs a little higher? One more deep breath in. Hands down, legs down, push back, child's pose. Bum towards your heels. Take a steady breath into your body and a steady breath out. And one more deep inhale. Full exhale. Come forward to all fours. Downward dog pose. Send your butt back and up towards the sky. Bend your right knee. Let your left heel drop heavy. So you're isolating the stretch on the back of your left leg. Take a full breath in. Steady breath out. Switch sides, bend your left knee, right heel drops heavy. Take a deep inhale. Full exhale. And straighten both legs, full downward facing dog pose. Push both hands strongly forward and down into the ground. Drive the tops of your legs back and up. Gently pull the front low ribs in. Good. And look at one spot right between your feet. Steady breath into your body. Steady breath out. So, can you see if your mind is overthinking? And if it is, can you focus your mind more on the breathing? Because your breath will help you experience the present moment rather than overthink the present moment. 2 more breaths. And one last deep inhale. Full exhale. And come forward to plank pose. Shoulders are right over your wrists. And hover your right foot so it's just 1 inch above the ground. Right foot hovers 1 inch off the ground. Push through both hands. Keep your spine long. Try not to round through the back. And bend your right knee. And try to bring your right knee towards your right elbow. Straighten your right leg straight back behind you. And then exhale, right knee to the right elbow. Inhale, right leg goes straight back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. And if it's too much, you can drop your left knee down. If you need more support, inhale, right leg back, 2 more. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. 1 more, inhale, right leg back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, right leg back. Right foot down. Other side, right away, left leg up. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, leg back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, back. 3 more. Exhale, if it's too much, you can put your right knee down. Inhale, back. Exhale to elbow. Last time, inhale back. Exhale to elbow. Good. Plank pose, take a full breath in. Exhale, hover your knees 1 inch off the ground for hovering table. As you hover your knees 1 inch off the ground, can you stick your butt up a little bit? Pull your lower ribs in. Keep pushing the floor away. If you're like me, my arms are starting to quiver a little. Can you embrace the fierceness instead of trying to run from it? Take one more full inhale. Downward dog pose, exhale. Steady breath into your body. Steady breath out. Don't worry, a rest for the arms is coming soon. Focus your eyes on one spot. Strongly push to the inner hands. Send your butt back in. One last deep inhale. And exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, walk, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach both hands all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands to your hips. Good. Please place your hands on your hips. And I'd like you to take your feet so they're hip distance wide. And I'd like you to place the thumbs at the front of your hips, where your hip crease would be when you forward fold. Put your thumbs right there and your fingers point backwards. So thumbs right at the front of the hip creases. Bend both of your knees. And as you bend both of the knees, naturally the head of the femur will glide back a little bit in the hip socket. Super, super subtle stuff. Keeping your thumbs on the front heads of the feet, on the tops of your thighs. Try to lift your torso up a little bit. Can you lengthen the torso up, 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 up? Keep pushing the tops of the thighs down and back. And now begin to tilt the pelvis forward over the thighs, bringing your belly towards your thighs. Keep pushing with your thumbs the tops of the thighs back and up. Continue to fold forward over your legs, letting your head release down towards the ground. Keep pushing the tops of the thighs back and up. Can get a little bit longer in the spine and drape your torso a little bit more forward and over the legs. Keep pushing your thumbs back and up so we're hinging from the hips. And we're trying not to hinge or round so much through the back. The movement comes from the hips. And then place both hands on the ground. Let your head release. Take a full inhale and a full exhale. And both hands come down to the floor. Step your right foot back, drop your right knee down towards the ground. Inhale, reach both hands up. Try to come to more of a vertical lunge. So you're not shifting the weight forward and down. You're more vertical with the torso and right thigh. Your right shoulder is above your right hip. Your right hip is above your right knee. Good, and now squeeze both of your glutes. So you could drop the right hand down and tap your right glute to see if it's turned on. And then the left glute's a little more tricky, but see if you could try to squeeze your left butt as well. Okay, inhale, both hands up. Can you keep lifting the frontal hip points? Keep squeezing both glutes. Keep stretching up through the torso. And now can you try to keep all that engagement and now shift the pelvis forward and down without moving without moving through the pelvis, without hinging through the hip. Keep the frontal hip points lifting. Keep the arms reaching up. Take one more deep inhale. And exhale, hands down. Step your right foot forward. Step your left foot back. Drop your left knee down. Inhale, both hands up, come to vertical. Exhale, just let your pelvis, let everything come forward and down into more of a classical Anjaneyasana. And you can notice that there's a lot of, that the angle of the hip decreases quite rapidly at the right hip joint. So let's try to create more space at the right hip by shifting the weight back, picking the frontal hip points up, squeezing both butts, and then reaching both arms up. Take a full inhale. Can you draw the low ribs in, stretch the arms higher, squeeze both buttocks nice and firm. And now try to create that same amount of space at your right hip as you shift forward. And as you shift forward and down, the space at the right hip crease will begin to diminish just because you're moving forward. But try to keep lifting that right hip bone up away from the right thigh. Take one more full inhale. And exhale, both hands down. Step back, downward dog. Take a steady breath in. And a steady breath out. And you come forward to plank pose, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog pose, full exhale. Take a steady breath into your body. And a steady breath out. 3 more breaths, just like that. As the heels release to the ground, keep lifting the inner arches of the feet. Okay, one last deep inhale. Exhale all your air. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, get long. Put your thumbs in your hip creases and exhale, hinge at the hips as you fold forward. Inhale, reach both hands all the way up towards the sky, stand up. Exhale, hands to your chest. Inhale, reach both hands up. As you fold, take your thumbs to your hip creases and hinge at your hips as you fold over your legs. Halfway lift, inhale, get long through your spine. Exhale, step or jump right back, chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra, inhale. Downward facing dog pose, full exhale. 5 breaths here. See if you can find a sense of steadiness by focusing your eyeballs on one spot on your mat and then taking slow, steady breaths. Can you try to find that same level of work here through the hips? Put a little bit of a bend in your knees. Push the tops of your thighs back and up. Imagine as if your thumbs were at the tops of your thighs near your hips. Those thumbs are driving the tops of your thighs back and up to the sky. Try to keep that level of engagement and straighten your legs a little more. Gently pull the lower ribs in. Take one more full inhale. Exhale, bend both knees. Look forward, step or jump to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Hands all the way up towards the sky. Deep inhale, reach up. And hands to your heart. And bend your knees, sit your bum low, Utkatasana. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up. Can you sit your butt back and down a little bit more? Take your thumbs to the front of your hip creases. Push the tops of your thighs down, send them back. And then from there, keep pushing the thumbs down and back. Reach your chest forward and up. So even in the face of challenge, you can keep your chest open. You can keep your posture, your poise tall, even as you go deeper into the fire of the legs. So sit a little deeper. Drive the thumbs back, get taller and longer through the spine. Keep the legs exactly where they are. Inhale, reach both hands forward and up. Sit a little bit deeper. Keep sending the tops of the thighs down and back. Stretch the hands forward and up. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Take a steady breath into your body. Steady breath out. Can you focus your eyes on one place? Find that steady, rhythmic breath. Keep pushing strongly through the inner hands, rolling the outer shoulders back. Take one more big inhale. On your exhale, step your feet together and walk them 1 foot closer towards your hands. Come onto your tippy toes, lift your heels high. Imagine as if your thumbs are on the tops of your thighs near your hips, and those thumbs are sending the tops of your thighs back and up to the sky. Option to stay here. Look between your thumbs, push the floor away. Shift your shoulders so they're right above your wrists. Now, if you don't want to go upside down today, totally fine. Just stay here and stay here for 5 breaths. Otherwise, bend your knees, 5 handstand hops. Try to kick your butt with your heels. Maybe you get stuck upside down. 4 more hops. 3, 2, good. 1 last deep breath in. And then exhale, land your feet up at the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Heel toe your feet together, bend your knees, sit your butt low. Put your thumbs in your hip creases. Send your butt down and back, lift your chest up. Can you get your butt a little lower? Can you get your chest a little higher? Can you push your thumbs down and back as you lift your chest forward and up? And keep your butt low. Inhale, both arms overhead. Straighten your arms. Get your butt lower. Keep the chest lifted. Pull the lower ribs in. Get your butt down and back a little bit more. Take 1 more full inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a steady breath into your body and a steady breath out. And please turn your left foot out about 45 degrees-ish. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Bend into your front knee. Inhale, reach both hands up towards the sky. And then exhale, interlace your hands in front of you and place your hands on your front thigh. Bend into your front knee. Now, if this angle of the back foot and back knee doesn't work for your body, it's causing ankle, knee, or hip pain, then just keep your back heel lifted off the ground for a lunge. Otherwise, try to keep the foot planted. Lunge deeper into your front knee, so you're in this nice big stance. And if you're like me, my right hip tends to collapse onto my right thigh. So if you're like me, can you push your hands down onto your right thigh and try to lift the right side of your pelvis, your right hip point, up off of your right thigh, creating more space between the front of your right hip and your right thigh bone. Then can you go a little deeper into the thigh, a little bit deeper into the right knee. Okay, so there's still depth in the pose, but you're learning how to lift the pelvis up off of the right thigh, creating more space at the right hip. Now, can you keep that and reach both hands straight back behind you? Once the hands are reaching back, broaden your chest so the collarbones get broad. Stay low in the front leg, but notice if when you did that, your right hip collapsed onto your right thigh. Pick the front of the right hip up. Go a little bit lower in the legs. Keep lifting the frontal hip points. Inhale, reach both arms up, full warrior 1. Take a deep inhale. Okay, exhale, both hands come down towards the ground. Step back, plank pose. Take a full breath in plank. Chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Turn your right foot out about 45 degrees-ish. Step your left foot forward. Inhale, come all the way up, warrior 1. Again, if that doesn't feel good on your back, knee, hip, or foot, just lift the back heel like you're doing a lunge. Interlace your hands, palms down on your front thigh. Bend into your left knee. And as you bend into your left knee and go lower in the pose, push your hands against your left thigh, and lift your pelvis, your front of the left hip, up away from your left thigh bone. As if someone had their hand right at your left hip crease and they're like, hey, can you make a bit more space here? Push your hands down, pick the pelvis up. Now go lower in the legs if you can maintain that. Keep pushing through the back foot. Keep lifting the frontal hip points. Keep this. Reach both hands straight back. Keep the chest broad, open across the chest. Just because the legs are working strong doesn't mean you have to turn into a hunchback. Keep your poise. Can you keep the depth of the legs? And inhale, both hands all the way up, full warrior one. Bend into the front knee. Keep lifting the frontal hip points. Keep anchoring through the back foot. Take one more full inhale. Exhale, both hands come down to the ground. Step back, plank pose. Take a full breath in and plank. Slowly, chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra, inhale. Downward facing dog pose, full exhale. Take a steady breath into your body. Add a steady breath out. Step your feet together. Walk them 1 foot closer to your hands. Come onto your tippy toes. Lift your heels high. Shift your shoulders so they're right over your wrists. Option 1, you just stay here and you work on building that upper body strength. Push the floor away. Option 2, bend your knees. 5 handstand hops. Maybe you get stuck in a handstand. 4, 3, 2, one more breath or one more hop. Push the floor away. And then land your feet at the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. Both hands all the way up towards the sky. Reach nice and tall. Exhale, hands to the hips. And hands on your hips. Inhale, lift your left knee up. Okay, can you lift your left knee nice and high? Can you keep your chest lifted? Get your left knee up a little bit higher. Good. With your right hand, grab your left knee. With your left thumb, place it at the top of your left thigh in the hip crease. Now, as you lift the knee higher with your right hand, with your left thumb, push the left hip crease down. As you lift your right knee higher, push the top of your left thigh down. Good. And slowly take your left hand to your lower back and begin to twist towards the left. Slowly begin to reach the left hand straight back behind you. Inhale, can you get a little taller in the torso? Exhale, can you deepen the twist? Can you get the left knee higher, but let the left hip drop? Take one more full inhale. Complete exhale. And come back through center. Keep the left knee lifted, hands on your hips. Take your left leg straight back behind you and step back to a lunge. Bend into your front knee. Interlace your hands, palms down on your front thigh. Push the thigh away, lift the torso up. And more importantly, lift the pelvis up off of that right thigh. Can you bend a little deeper into your front knee? Can you press your back thigh up a little bit more? And with your hands, can you lift your pelvis up away from your right thigh? Keep all of that, reach both hands straight up. Full crescent lunge. Go low into the legs. But at the same time, lift the frontal hip points up away from the right leg. Try to keep the pelvis a little more vertical instead of tipping forward. 3 more breaths. Can you go a little bit lower in the legs? Can you reach the arms up a little higher? 2, relax your jaw. 1 more deep breath in. Full exhale. Hands come back. This is the fun bit. Lean forward, shift forward, lift that back leg up. Bend your right knee. Try to stay with me, you got this. Interlace your hands. Palms on your right thigh. Your hands are on your right thigh, so you have a bit of support. Keep your right knee bent. Push your hands against your right thigh to lift your pelvis up off of the right thigh slightly so that you're not collapsing into your right hip crease. And if you really do that, bam, your right butt's gonna turn on so much more. Can you keep both hips facing down? Can you lift that left leg higher? Whew, I'm getting a few cramps. It feels amazing. Can you lift the chest up a little bit more? Try to pick the front right hip up off of that right thigh. One more breath, you got this. Y'all are doing so good. Step your left foot forward, stand up. Samastiti, close your eyes, turn your palms forward, mountain pose. Equal pose. Take 3 breaths. Two. One last breath. You know, if yoga is really about allowing ourselves an experience, I really like the feeling right after something that's really intense. For me, that creates a lot of space. It's like, oh, wow, that was really intense. And afterwards, it's like this beautiful release and softening. Let's do the other side. Hands on your hips. Lift your right knee up. Try to get your right knee nice and high. Good. Can you get the knee a little higher? Keep your left leg straight. Take your left hand to your left knee. Left hand to your right knee. Grab your right knee with your left hand. Right thumb at your right hip crease. Anchor it down. Inhale, get taller. With the right thumb, push the top of the right thigh down. With your left hand, lift the knee higher. Keep your left leg absolutely straight. And so can you maintain that? Right hand to your sacrum. Now begin to turn your chest to the right. Reach your right hand straight back. Inhale, can you get taller through both sides of the torso? And exhale, can you twist, 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 twist. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, twist. One more time, inhale, get tall. Keep that right hip dropping, the left leg straight. Exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, come back to center, hands on your hips. Exhale, right leg goes all the way back into a lunge. Bend into your left knee. Good. Inhale, both hands up, crescent lunge. Exhale, interlace hands, palms down on your front thigh. Let yourself go deep. Try not to shy away from intensity. As you go deep in the legs, use your hands. Push your hands down against your left thigh to lift your pelvis up away from your left thigh. Try to get your pelvis a little more vertical. Push the hands into the left thigh bone. Pick the frontal hip points up. Now go lower in the legs. Keep straightening the back leg. Hug the inner thighs to the midline. Inhale, both hands up, full crescent lunge. Can you go a little bit lower? Can you reach up a little higher? Breathe, steady breath in. Steady breath out. 3 more breaths. 2. Can you find a bit more depth and lift through the frontal hip points? Okay, exhale, hands float back, arrowhead, try to stay with me. Shift forward, lean forward, pick that back leg up. Bend your left knee a little. Interlace your hands, palms down on your front thigh. Push your hands down against your left thigh. Lift your frontal hip points up. Keep both hips facing down. Lift that right leg. Hold for 3. Keep the chest broad. 2. If you're like me, when I really lift my frontal hip points up away from my left thigh, my left butt works way more. 2 more breaths. Can you get that back leg a little higher? Good. 1 last deep inhale. And exhale, step your right foot forward. Samastiti. Both palms turn to face forward. Close your eyes, take 2 breaths. And 1 last breath. Please blink your eyes open. Inhale, both hands up to the sky, reach tall. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands on the ground. Step your left foot back about 3 to 4 feet. If you have a block and you have tighter legs, I recommend using a block. Place your left hand either on a block on the outside of your right foot or on the ground. Take your right thumb into your right hip crease and push the top of your right thigh bone back. Reach the center of your chest a little bit more forward. Get longer through the spine. Twist the chest to the right. Reach your right arm up. Revolve triangle pose. Push the left hand down. Turn the chest up. Keep the right hip back. Push down through both feet. Get longer through the torso. Twist to the right. 3 breaths. 2. And 1 last deep breath in. And out. Both hands come down towards the ground. Fold directly over your right leg. If you need to bend your right knee, that's totally fine. Option to walk your hands forward. Let the forehead come towards the right shin. Take 3 breaths. Push down evenly through both hands and through both feet. All right, please bend your right knee. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot about 3 to 4 feet back. Get long through your torso. Block goes onto the outside edge of your left foot. Option to put your right hand on the block or on the ground. Left thumb comes right into your left hip crease and it pushes the top of your left thigh bone back. Can you reach the center of your chest a little bit more forward? Then push the right hand down to turn the chest towards the left. Then reach the left hand up towards the sky. Push down through both feet. Push down through the right hand. Turn the chest up. Turn your head to look up. Stay anchored and steady through both feet. And can you breathe? Can your eyes be steady on one place? Can you get a little bit longer and taller through your torso versus rounding the back? Can you find a length? Can you push the right hand down to turn the chest open a little bit more? Take 1 more deep inhale. Full exhale, twist, twist, twist. Both hands come down towards the ground. Walk your hands, either keep them under your shoulders if you're a bit tighter on blocks, or walk your hands forward. Fingertips on the ground. Forehead comes towards the shin. If you need to, you can totally bend your left knee. Otherwise, straighten both legs fully. Steady breath into the body. Steady breath out. 2 more breaths. Deep inhale. Full exhale. 1 more deep breath in. And out. Good. Please bend your left knee, step forward, hands to your hips, inhale, stand up. Good. Here we go, let's lift our right knee up. Catch the right knee with your right hand. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, catch your right big toe and inhale, lengthen the leg forward, hold for 5. Can you keep the breath steady? 4, let the top of your right thigh drop. 3, keep your left leg straight. 2, 1, left hand comes to the left knee or the outside edge of your right foot. Right hand reaches back. Twist, hold for 5. Keep your left leg straight. 4, breathe. Get your torso and your chest, all of it lengthens up. And then you twist back. 2. And 1 last deep breath in, get taller. Twist a little deeper. Good. Come back to center. Inhale, both hands up, leg is nice and high. And exhale, both hands to the ground, right leg up to the sky, standing splits. Right leg up.
Option 1, stay here. Get the leg high as you can. Option 2, come onto your left tippy toes, kick up, handstand. Hold for 5. Can you keep your breath steady? 4, get that right leg up if you're in standing splits. 3, hold your handstand if you're in handstand. 2, 1 last breath in. Good. And then you're going to step your right foot forward, step your left foot back. Drop your left knee to the ground and straighten your right leg. Half splits. You can have your hands on the blocks if you'd like. Hands can be on the blocks if you'd like, or hands can be on the ground. Option to stay in half splits or slowly make your way towards full splits. If you have a couple blocks, you can place 1 or 2 blocks underneath your right hamstring so you feel totally supported. And inhale, reach both hands up to the sky. Full splits. Hold for 5. Breathe. 4. Notice if you're collapsing into your right hip crease. Lift the frontal hip points up. 3. Keep both hips facing forward. 2. Lift up out of the pelvis. Think of tall posture. And 1 last breath. Exhale, both hands to the ground. Well done, everyone. Bend into your front knee. Step forward to the top of your mat. Add hands on your hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Right hand on your right hip, lift your left knee up. Catch your left knee. Y'all are doing really good. It's a tough class. I'm just sweating balls over here. Option to stay here or catch the left big toe. Lengthen your left leg forward. Hold for 5. Can keep your breath steady. 4, keep breathing. 3, right leg stays straight. Chest is lifted and tall. 2, 1. Option to take the right hand to the left knee or your right hand to your left foot. Reach your left hand back. Twist, hold for 5. Inhale, get tall through the torso. Exhale, twist to look back. 4. Inhale, finding that length. Exhale, deepening the twist. 3. Try to drop the left hip. Keep standing tall through the right foot. 2. Keep your right leg straight. 1. And inhale, come back to center. Keep the leg up for a full breath in. Exhale, standing splits. Hands come down. Left leg lifts up high to the sky. Lift, 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 lift. Option to stay here, standing splits. 5 breaths. Option 2, plant your hands. Handstand, up you go. 5, breathe. 4, keep the breath steady. 3, lift the leg higher if you're standing splits. 2, handstand, push the floor away. Good, and 1. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. Drop your right knee to the ground. Half splits, straighten your left leg. Option to just stay here in half splits with your hands on the ground or blocks, especially if you're a little tighter, or if you just need to take a little more gentle today. Or slide the left foot forward into full splits. If you have a block or 2, I usually always recommend placing at least 1 block underneath the left hamstring. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. Inhale, both hands up if it's available. And then just notice if you're collapsing into your legs. Can you lift up out of the legs? So you're not dropping into your left hip crease. You're lifting up out of it. Take 4 more breaths. Can you breathe? 3. 2. And 1 last deep inhale, lift up. Exhale, both hands to the ground if they were lifted. This time, please step back, downward dog pose. Take a deep breath in downward dog. Now full breath out. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale all the way to your belly. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, lift both legs. Reach both hands straight back. Okay, keep the chest lifted, keep the legs lifted. Lift the chest, lift the legs, lift the arms, everything lifts. Take 3 more breaths here. Can you get your legs a little higher? Can you get your chest a little higher? 2 more breaths. Can you roll your inner thighs up? 1 last breath. Chest lifts, arms lift, everything lifts up, up, up. And then exhale, release. Please push back to child's pose. Take a steady breath in and a steady breath out. Come onto your bum. Bring your legs out in front of you. And bend your right knee. Cross your right knee over your left leg. Option to keep your left foot in front or tuck it back beside your right hip. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, get tall through the torso. Exhale, deepen the twist. Inhale, can you find length? Exhale, can you twist? 3 more breaths. 2. 1 last deep inhale. Exhale, twist. Come back through center. Other side. Switch across the legs. Left leg over the right leg. Option to tuck the right foot back. Left hand comes behind you. Right hand reaches up, full inhale. Exhale, twist, elbow to the outside of the knee. Inhale, get taller through the torso. Exhale, twist. Inhale, find length from your sit bones all the way up your spine to your skull. Exhale, twist. A good yoga practice allows us to experience many things. It allows us to experience intensity, maybe some vulnerability, some strength, flexibility, and softness, gentleness, kindness. Take 1 more inhale. Can you get a little taller? Exhale, twist. And come back through center. Take both legs straight out in front. Inhale, reach both hands up. Get tall. Exhale, thumbs to your frontal hip creases. Push the tops of the thighs down. Let's all bend our knees. Bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees. Push the tops of the thighs down. The bending of the knees will help the head of the femur glide back a little more posteriorly. Very subtle work. Keep the knees bent. Take your arms behind the hamstrings, behind the knees. See if you can grab elbow to elbow. Get your belly connected to your thighs. Option to stay here or begin to straighten your legs. As you straighten your legs, you can press the forearms against the ground with your hamstrings. Try to find more length through the torso. Option to stay here and let the head drop. Or, keeping the belly connected to the thighs, release the hands forward, interlace the hands around the feet. Paschimottanasana, forward fold, head drops. Take 5 deep, slow breaths. 4. With each exhale, can you let your head Your face, relax a little more. With each exhale, can you allow yourself to soften? Inhale, come all the way up. Bend both of your knees. Scoot your butt a little forward and then please lie down onto your back. Happy baby pose. Grab onto the ankles or the outside edges of your feet. Let your legs fall over to the right. Coming into a supine twist, look over your left arm. Can you take a deep inhale? And full exhale. And bring your legs back to center. Let your legs fall to the left. Look over your right arm. Bring your legs to center. Please lengthen your legs forward, come into Shavasana. It's so important after strong practices to take a moment to allow the body to totally soften and release. So can you let your eyes close? Can you allow your jaw to relax? Can your belly soften? Can your hands and feet totally relax? Relax your toes. Relax your fingers. If you'd like to stay here a little longer, please feel free to. Otherwise, take a deep breath into your body. A full breath out. Wiggle your hands and your feet. Take your arms up overhead. Give your body a big, big, big stretch. Bend your knees. Roll onto your right hand side. Very gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. If you are seated with your eyes closed, bring your hands together in front of your chest, palms touching. We can think about peace, kindness, or freedom, but ultimately in the practice of yoga, it's about creating space to experience peace, kindness, and freedom firsthand. And we begin to create space to experience this, then we truly understand what it means. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.